Welcome back to the King Films March Madness videos, and let's get right into it with our mascot bracket predictions. We did this same style of video last year. Here's how it works. The team with the mascot that would win in a fight, pretty simple premise, will win the game. So let's get started with the West region. As you can see here, we've got Georgia State Panthers beating the Gonzaga Bulldogs. I think a Panther would beat a Bulldog in any sort of fight. And we've got Memphis Tigers against the Boise State Broncos. I think that the Tiger would win. They've got some sharp claws, and Boise State would go down in this matchup. Then going down further in the first round, I think New Mexico State would be able to beat Connecticut. The Huskies against the Aggies. An Aggie is like a student of the school or something, or a farmer, something like that. I still think that they would beat a dog, a Husky, in fact. Then we've got the Catamounts of Vermont against the Arkansas Razorbacks, which is just a hog. So seeing the mascots, Vermont's just looks kind of like a monkey. I think a hog would win in a fight. Then Arkansas will win in the second round against the Aggies. I think a hog would beat just a regular old human. For Memphis, I think that a Tiger would beat a Panther. This would be a closer fight than their first round match against Boise State. And then in the Sweet 16, I'm going to have the Memphis Tigers over the Razorbacks. I think that would also be a close fight, but the Razorback is just a bit smaller, so I'm going to go with Memphis there. Then bottom half, we've got Alabama. I'm just going to count them as the elephant, as we did last year. I'm not really going to count the Tide as something. Then I'm going to have Rutgers beating the Fighting Irish, the Scarlet Knights. They've got a full suit of armor and a sword in their logo, so I'm going to have them beating the elephant there. I think they won't get trampled in time. Then Texas Tech, the Red Raider, seems to have some guns in the old school logos against Montana State. Panthers, I'm going to have Texas Tech here. Guns can kill most animals, and then I'm going to have them advance against Rutgers. Guns are better than swords, even if they're not the greatest guns. Then Michigan State Spartans against Davidson. I'm going to have Michigan State winning against the Davidson Wildcat. I think that a Spartan, again, suit of armor, sword, would win. Then Duke Blue Devils against Cal State Fullerton. And Cal State Fullerton is the Titans, but I couldn't really find a Titan in the pictures of their mascots, so I'm going to have to go with the Duke Blue Devils here. Then Michigan State Spartans over the Duke Blue Devils. Again, not really sure what a Blue Devil is, but it doesn't look that fierce from their mascot they have on the floor. Then Red Raiders are going to beat Michigan State for the same reason they beat Rutgers. And then in the final match, Elite Eight, for the spot in the Final Four, I'm going to have the Red Raiders over the Tigers of Memphis. Then South Region, we've got Arizona Wildcats. I think they beat both types of dogs, Wright State and Bryant. Then Seton Hall Pirates, I'm going to have beating the Horned Frogs of TCU. Then UAB could be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. I have them beating the Houston Cougars. UAB is the Dragons, or the Blazer Dragon, by the way. Illinois is the Fighting Illini, and then Chattanooga is the Mocs, which is some sort of student of the university, kind of the same as Illinois. I'm just going to default to the higher seed here. UAB is going to beat Illinois in that second round. Second round for Arizona, I'm going to have Seton Hall winning. The Wildcat, if you look it up, it's not really that big, so I think a Pirate, they've got the sword, so I think they win, but UAB will prevail over Seton Hall anyways. Dragon flies, can breathe fire, obviously. So let's go down to the bottom. We've got Colorado State Rams against Michigan Wolverines, and I'm going to have the Ram with those two horns you can see in the Colorado State mascot. Then we've got Tennessee Volunteers against Longwood Lancers, and I think that the horse is going to win here over just a regular human. Then Loyola Chicago Ramblers, which is pretty much just a wolf, against Ohio State Buckeyes, which is like the nut. So I'm going to have to go with Loyola Chicago here. Then Villanova Wildcats against Delaware, some sort of border there. I'm going to have to go with the Villanova Wildcats. But then, like I did before, I'm going to have to take the wolf over the Wildcat. You can debate me in the comments on this, but again, I've looked up a Wildcat and it doesn't look that big in real life. So then, regardless, Sweet 16, we've got Rams versus the Wolf. And I think that the horns on the Ram could get this one done. Wolves are quite small if you look at them. Rams could be big. Wolf might be faster, but the Ram ultimately has those horns. But anyways. In the Elite Eight, the Dragon of UAB is going to win anyways. So we got 2 of our Final Four teams. Let's move on to the bottom, where we've got Kansas against Texas Southern or Texas A&M CC, and Texas Southern is the Tigers, so I'm going to have to take them here over Kansas and Texas A&M CC Islanders. Then we've got the San Diego State Aztecs and Creighton Blue Jays. Aztecs by 1,000,000 here. Then Iowa Hawkeyes, some sort of bird, against Richmond Spiders. I'm pretty sure birds eat spiders. If Richmond got a better matchup, maybe they could kill a human, just because I'm assuming it's a poisonous bite. Why else would you want to be a spider? But then Providence Friars, you think of them as peaceful, but I think they could beat a jackrabbit if they really had to. And in the same mindset, I think they could beat a bird. So Providence on the Sweet 16, San Diego State Aztecs I'm going to have beating the Tigers, and then San Diego State also beating the Friars in a relatively easy one there, although you could argue that the Native Americans that were in California, the Friars won in that case, but we won't even bring that up. And the Aztecs did kind of lose to the Spaniards, but I'm just not going to include that in my argument. Let's assume disease isn't a factor. So let's move on to the bottom before things get any more controversial here, because I think we'll all agree that the bottom of the bracket is going to beat the Aztecs here. Iowa State Cyclones, that's just a force of nature. A tornado is going to beat anything, including an LSU Tiger. So Wisconsin Badgers against Colgate Raiders. Gonna have the Raiders here. Badger, relatively weak mascot. Big Ten with the relatively weak mascots. We'll get to the one exception later. Then Iowa State will beat the Colgate Raider in the second round. Then USC Trojans against Miami Hurricanes. So we've got another force of nature here. Gotta go with the Hurricanes there. Just a powerful storm. Will beat any human. Auburn Tigers will beat Jacksonville State. Gamecocks here. Doesn't matter either way. The Miami Hurricanes will win that matchup in the second round. Then Hurricane against Cyclone could be controversial, but I'm going with Hurricane here. The Cyclone might win a single battle, but the Hurricane's just so big, it's going to wipe out the Cyclone and win, I guess, if that's even how it works. Regardless, I think we're going to have the Hurricanes moving on to the Final Four here. Would like to see what happens in that matchup. Then Baylor against Norfolk State Spartans. Gotta take the Spartans over the Bears here. Then North Carolina Tar Heels against Marquette Golden Eagles. Just gonna have to take the human here, I guess. Maybe Golden Eagles can lift like children, but I think North Carolina should be safe here. Then we're going to have the Wyoming Cowboys over the St. Mary's Gales or Indiana. Either way, the Cowboy has both the human and the horse, and the rope, in fact, in the logo, so we're going to have to take them there. Then UCLA Bruins over Akron Zips. Akron's mascot was either a zipper or a kangaroo from what I found, so I think a bear would beat that, and then we'll have the bear beating the Cowboy in the second round. Then Spartans against Bears, Bruins, and we're going to have the Spartans there. They seem to have, armor, sword, the classic. Norfolk State onto the Elite Eight. Then Texas Longhorns against Virginia Tech Hokies, which is like that rooster, chicken, turkey thing. We're going to have the Longhorns nonetheless. Bevo is very feisty, if you've ever seen him at some of those football games. But Purdue Boilermakers against Yale Bulldogs, and I hate to even put this image in, but a train is just going to run over anything. Same thing for the second round against Bevo. I hate to say it, but Purdue onto the Sweet 16. Murray State Racers, just a racehorse against San Francisco Dons, just a person. So Murray State's got the person and the horse, like Wyoming. They're going to win that matchup. Then Wildcats against St. Peter's Peacocks. Yes, Peacocks. That might be the worst mascot in the whole bracket, besides the Spiders, maybe. So we're going with the Wildcats. Then Wildcats again. Even though I said they were weak, pretty sure they would beat Murray State. I don't know. This one could go either way. But whoever wins is getting run over by Purdue, the train, the wagon, Boilermakers to the Elite Eight, and in the same vein, they're running over the Spartans. So let's move on to our Final Four predictions. And, Texas Tech Raiders, shooting at a train's not going to do anything. it's only going to make it worse for you. And then on the other side, we've got the Dragon against the Hurricane. And I don't really know how the Dragon's going to beat the Hurricane. So maybe the Dragon won't be able to fly. I mean, either way, we need a new champion. Last year it was the Drexel Dragons. UAB was not in the tournament. So I'm going to take the Hurricane strangely here. And then in the same reasoning, I mean, a Hurricane would knock trains off the tracks, and if a train's not on the tracks, it can't do anything. So our champion by surprise is Miami. I mean, I think UAB is definitely the runner-up. I think a Dragon could burn down the train, but that doesn't matter. Miami is the champion. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree, and please subscribe to the channel. We will have a half dozen more March Madness bracket prediction videos coming your way, and then stay tuned for the betting locks as well. Thank you for watching.